Welcome back to Republic TV. Well, this story is about something which is going to expose how China continues to be blatant and aggressive at the borders. And especially this is about what happened on 15th of August. Republic TV has exclusive details and Chinese incursion at Ladakh's Pangong Tso. It's about another incident of Chinese incursion which has come to light, the details of which are exclusively available with Republic TV. A scuffle of sorts broke out at Pangong Tso on August 15th. We have accessed the details at how Chinese troops invaded into India with iron rods. Republic TV will reveal the face-off details and also how PLA troops threw stones at Indian troops. All those details are provided by Republic TV's news editor Parikshit Luthra, who's going to join me. In fact, he is there with me on this story. Parikshit, it's over to you. So what are these exclusive details which completely expose China, whether it is diplomatically at Doklam or perhaps in Ladakh Leh region as well?
You know, every year there are hundreds of transgressions that happen along the Indo-China border. But this year, especially since the time that the Dalai Lama went to Tamang, we have been seeing increased activity at the Indo-China border. This transgression that happened on the 15th of August, remember it made headlines, it was talked about a lot, was rather unusual. Our sources in security agencies tell us that this time the Chinese were unusually aggressive and it was an unprecedented act. They came prepared. They came prepared to fight. They had iron rods with them, and when they entered Indian territory, they attacked Indian forces, and that's when the Indian forces also retaliated. And our sources telling us that they gave back better than they got. And reinforcements were also called in, and that's when Chinese troops left the spot. So it all went on for about a good half an hour, and there were people on both sides who were injured. So keeping that in mind, our forces are telling us, yes, they are prepared for future transgressions, and they do expect something like this to happen again in the next couple of months, because they feel that this is psychological warfare on the part of Chinese. They want to see how much they can really test India, how much they can really push India and scare them into moving away from the tri-junction point or moving away forces from the Doklam area. So, and just to put it in the larger context, Sakal, last year we saw about 240 transgressions at the Indo-China border. This year we've already seen about 200, and this is a conservative number, and this number could only rise in the coming months.
Parikshit, besides PSYOPs, do you think there could be some other motive as well that China is trying to... We understand they are rattled, and these are the signs which actually expose them. But could there be any other intent or motive? Because, the details that you're providing, they're talking about this prepared transgression this time around.
You know, our sources are telling us that after this incident took place on 15th morning between about 8 to 9 a.m., there was a border personnel meeting called by the Chinese, not by the Indian troops. The Chinese troops actually called for a border personnel meeting that took place at Chushul on 16th of August. Having said that, right now the Chinese are deploying different strategies. Yes, they are putting pressure through their media, saying that we will remind you of what happened in 1962. We'll remind you about the consequences of taking on the Chinese. Then you have the Chinese media also releasing those kind of videos. Then they try and tell you that Bhutanese have actually agreed that that Doklam is Chinese territory. They said that, and that was rebutted by Bhutan. And then you have these troops, Chinese troops entering Indian territory at multiple locations. We've seen that happening in Uttarakhand. We've seen that happening in Ladakh as well. But this time they were unusually aggressive, and the Indian troops are saying that they are prepared for a long haul because they expect this standoff to continue, and they will see the Chinese testing Indian forces over and over again over the next couple of months.